support this prayer breakfast over the last 28 years and know that it's going to be a marvelous event as it continues in the years ahead. Now this award was given to me. It's called the Gandhi King Ikeda Award. We all know who Mr. Gandhi was. 3 years ago, Sybil and I visited India and stood in the very place where he did much of his action and especially his march to the sea. As one human being, he developed independence and freedom for the entire nation of India, non-violently. Not one bullet was shot, not one mass murder event, not one of anything like that happened. Mr. Gandhi was one of the great men of the 20th century. We also know Dr. King. In 1963, I had the incredible experience of marching with Dr. King in Washington at that incredible rally where he gave his I Have a Dream speech. We know of his nonviolent work in this moral revolution that he led. But some people don't know that sometime a few months before he was assassinated, he was invited to speak at a massive anti-war peace rally at the Riverside Church in New York City. Now the Riverside Church is kind of the Protestant cathedral of the nation, a huge, glorious church. And he was invited to go and speak against the war in Vietnam. His closest companions and leaders of the total movement said to him, Martin, don't go and speak against the war because we will lose all our support. And Dr. King said, no, I cannot be against nonviolence here in America and yet support our troops who are resorting to all kinds of violence in Vietnam. So he went ahead and spoke there from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. He spoke out for nonviolence and the war issues. So that's Gandhi and King. Most of you probably don't know Ikeda, the last person for which this award is named. In 1957, I had 3 great events. I was a Baptist missionary in Japan. And so in 1957, I visited Hiroshima and saw in that, and that was just 12 years after the bomb, it was still just a nuclear wasteland. No buildings, nothing but a nuclear desert. And I saw where we had unleashed a bomb that killed 250,000 civilians, women, children, elderly, we unleashed that bomb. I saw that. Then the second thing that happened in 1957, I had heard about a Buddhist denomination, let me put it, called Soka Gakkai International. And not only was I there in Japan to share my own faith, but also I wanted to learn about the faith of other people. So I went to Tokyo one day and visited the headquarters of Soka Gakkai International. And there, as I look back on it, I still remember meeting the young man who was 3 or 4 years older than I was, which means he was 28 or 9 years old. His name was Daisaku Ikeda. He was the youth leader of that great religion. 2 years later, he became the executive director of the entire movement around the world. And Mr. Ikeda, for 30 years, no, for 50 years now, has gone around the world promoting an action that was taken by that religion in 1957 or 8, right there. They had a worldwide conference in Yokohama, and they took a stand to say the world must destroy all nuclear weapons, never to build more nuclear weapons. Well, I was in Yokohama at the time. I was not able to go to that massive conference. But I read in the paper the next day of that stand. That is Mr. Ikeda. So the award that was given to me last year of Gandhi King ikeda is from that background. I want to say it's one of the greatest awards, undeserved, that I have ever received. And I really believe, following the footsteps of Gandhi King ikeda, we shall overcome someday. Thank you.